Yes.
Okay, so goals of life. This is called Purusharthas. Objective and qualities of God. So it is said that it is the rightful pursuit of a person to fulfill these four. Since God is within us, basically, these are four qualities, not only at the individual level, but at the soul level. The first one is Dharma. The second one is Artha. And the third one is Kama. The fourth is Moksha. So, what is Dharma?
Duty.
Also, it is difficult to translate this word into English because it's also not only the duty, like your duty to perform, but the reason that you're born. You know, like when you hear like, oh, I was born to do this, or I was born to do that.
Yes.
That is also your Dharma. So, you know, there are many books now, Find Your Dharma, or Find Your... Basically, it's the purpose in life. So it's not only your duty, there are those that are very clear to us. Like when you have a kid, your Dharma as a mother. When you're a wife, when you're a student, when you're a nurse, when you're a doctor, when you're, a baker. So not only those that are very clear, but those that sometimes we have difficulties with, you know, like what is... Because even though we all have the same abilities to do something, there's some people that are more how do you call it, like natural tendencies for whether they've practiced for many lives before. You know, like you see a kid sitting at a piano, the kid can just play a piece and they heard it once, you know. How many lifetimes probably he or she has been a piano player? Or, I mean, for you guys to even, I mean, the way we grew up, our mentality, it has nothing to do really with Ayurveda. So for you to be even inclined to something like this is because this is not the first time you have practiced Ayurveda. In some way, in some aspect, or maybe, you know, with herbs, or maybe cooking, or maybe like with nature. So this is like a memory. When it resonates, you're like, okay, I want to study that. I want to do that. This, we call it like all samskaras. This is not the first time. And this group of 7 people, 7 students, which is 9, at the group level, we have been together before. Maybe in a war, maybe in the middle of But there's a karma that is like a group, like a group karma, or a karmic group, or however, like people that go to an ashram and they do a teacher training course together, people that study medicine together, people that go and travel to the moon together. I mean, like, this is not a coincidence, you know? So this dharma is not only, it's a very difficult word to translate. It's not only your duty, it goes beyond your duty. It's like your purpose in life, basically. And sometimes when your dharma, an example I wanted to give you, let's say your dharma is to serve, no matter what you do, you're going to be fulfilling that dharma. These people, you can go through their lives and you see them that they've been serving at a restaurant, they've been serving at a post office, but that dharma to serve others, or they might study Ayurveda or medicine and end up serving the community or doing some social work. But if you track their lives, usually, even though they've had very, very different jobs, service has always been involved. Right? If your dharma is to be a teacher, at some level you're teaching. Even if you don't have a degree and are in front of the classroom teaching them, at some level you have like some little kids, or you're training dogs, or training, I mean, take it to you're going to be teaching. You've realized that throughout your life, maybe even teaching your mother and your father, or maybe teaching your little brother and your sister, but that's your dharma, is to be a teacher. And you cannot negate that. Your life purpose will shine for it's going to move you. Even if you're not aware of what your dharma is, there's a higher force that is allowing this dharma to come forth. So it's very interesting. That's why you have doctors, that's why you have teachers, that's why you have public, figures, that's why you have even those that are doing absolutely nothing. Are just sitting, they're balancing, they're used seriously. There is a thing that I studied in India, it was very interesting, like the sons of Rupa, like the god of the wind, that these people that had no houses. And no matter what you tell them, they say, I'll give you a home, I'll give you shelter. They end up losing their home, living out in the streets. Because, I mean, it's very interesting. And those that are just sitting and they're doing nothing, you're like, that's a parasite to society. No, I mean, these people are balancing the energies in the world. You think they might not be doing nothing and we just mistreat them. And of course, you want to evolve, but what I'm trying to say is that absolutely everything has its place. And it's not misplaced. Is that clear? Okay, so we can move to Artha. So Artha is the pursuit of material wealth. Which of course brings material comfort to a person, right? So the most important aspect here is that we possess something, not that thing possess us. That's basically the most important thing. Who says that to be spiritual or to be very evolved, you need to be poor? God, one of the qualities and the blessings is abundance. Okay? So this abundance manifests in everything. So it is okay to make it. It is okay to be successful. It is okay as long as we use this. I mean, I can talk about this. Is not about me personally, but I have my very own personal opinion about this. All I want is just a spiritual evolution. I mean, to please God to remove every single obstacle from me to, But that's how I want to use of course you like nice things, you want to travel, you want this, you want that. But when that thing starts possessing you, that you're actually losing your sleep over, that's when it becomes a real problem. Or when you're worrying, if you're worrying about how to make a living, like every penny, like, okay, I need to pay this, what kind of energy you're going to have for a spiritual life? It's very difficult to concentrate on this kind of, when you have these other preoccupations. You understand? So I just want to show you the validity and the pros and the, all the contrast of these objectives. Kama. Kama is pleasure. Fulfillment, fulfilling one's desires. Desires, as we know, for us to be, to get some level of spirituality, desires, that barrier needs to be crossed. Doesn't mean that you're gonna stop desiring, but it means that your desires should be like more spiritualize your desires. When it's the desire suppressed, it's like a coil string that you push down. It's gonna abruptly come out, and the consequences are gonna be very negative. That's why the natural urges you never suppress. Because there is a need to do something. If you don't do it, the consequences are worse than if you... So it's very important to fulfill one's desires. But I made a note here, important. For a person to evolve spiritually and to reach the ultimate destination, the barrier of desires need to be crossed. This can be done either by fulfilling the desires or by sublimating or transcending them. And that's what they do, like the rishis and the sages, with, let's say, sexual energy. The sexual energy is there. Like, our organs are made to function that way, to interact with masculine, feminine, whatever the case might be. But there are some rishis and some, they're able to sublimate, they like to transcend this desire and use that sexual energy for a profound spiritual work. It doesn't mean that you have to do that. But I'm talking about in cases where they've been able to sublimate or to transcend these desires. Or to use these desires in a different way, like Tantra. Like people think about, it's just sexuality. No, it's just using that sexual energy for a spiritual transformation. Whether you have physical intercourse with someone or not.
So what's an example? Like how do you use?
An example of actual physical, to use it as a physical thing when you just not just have sex. You use this union for those that have experienced this for a higher purpose. That you see in that union, in that physical form of union, you can have access and tap in this higher space, in this higher consciousness, in tapping into this information where you feel one with another, and not because of the physical orgasm. But this is another subject. I mean, this is like really off. Like, it's not. But it can be through there, or you can use that energy, that Kundalini energy, that sexual, to rise up and experience all this bliss in your heart chakra and all this expression and this oneness with everything. It could be that same sexual energy being utilized in a different way. So it's kind of complicated. I mean, we can get into that when we study yoga for Ayurvedic practitioners. I would love to get into that, if you want. But it's, so basically, suppressing of desires is certainly not recommended. As one becomes aware of the desires and one goes about fulfilling them in awareness and without judgment. This is the key. When you're aware of those desires, what do you want to do? You want to spiritualize them. Like if you feel like you have desire to have someone something that, if I want to have something that you have, and I just look at them like, I want those pens, I really, if I have awareness, I'm saying, no, but they're so good for her, I can find out, like you start, by having that awareness, you're automatically transforming that feeling of jealousy, of that desire. So that's why awareness and judgment are like key words. I cannot move with the AC, sorry. Just for a little bit. So, that's the difference. So yeah, you fulfill those desires both with awareness and judgment, like right discrimination. Okay, why am I desiring this thing that does not belong to me, or that doesn't, why am I, like being, it's all about awareness, you see? So that's kama. And then you have moksha. Liberation. So to talk about this is a little interesting. So like I was saying, for this path, whether you study Ayurveda, yoga, whatever, it's the same, or a philosophy, or all this spiritual practices, even though it's a medical system, it's based on a philosophy and a spiritual foundation. Like I was explaining before, like every day that passes by, it should be a day closer to moksha, not to pain and suffering. So what happens is, like since the old times, people prepare for that. They actually understand that. After you have your kids, after you fulfill your dharma, after you start secluding yourself and living a life of spirituality. Because at the end of life, you want to be able to live in that, within those principles, you see. So liberation, ultimately, we call it liberation from the body, but moksha is really liberation from the bodies, where there's no more, incarnations, like the final liberation. So liberation means realization of the self. And it's actually the ultimate destination of human birth. So when I say human birth, I'm talking about the cycle of samsara. So if it's the ultimate destination of human birth, what does that mean?
The ultimate destination of human birth is the
the object of all this reincarnation are to get to liberation.
Right, but that would be the end of samsara. Right? That cycle, samsara is the cycle of birth and rebirth. Mm-hmm. So if it's the ultimate destination of birth, that's it, you're done. There's moksha, there's no more. Because remember, we incarnate, what is the reason we incarnate for?
Because we have more, we have more dharma to fulfill.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. We have to.
Well, you can write that, for someone might take, but you can write a lot of, karma right away, especially when you go to India. It is the stage of inner realization that the individual self is the same as the Supreme Self. So what's the Supreme Self?
Yeah.
Yes. It is the experience of the cosmos within oneself. Sounds appealing, huh? For some. It is the experience of the flow and fusion of Shiva Shakti energy. So Shiva Shakti is female and male energy. The energy, there's no Shiva without Shakti. There's like when you say Kundalini Shakti, to say Kundalini alone is a mistake. It's Kundalini Shakti. Because Kundalini Shakti is when there's the actual rise of the Kundalini, like the Kundalini comes up and you're like one with the Creator. And basically what it does is that coil energy, at the very bottom of the space we have this energy that is dormant. And all these practices that people do, like yoga, meditation, is with the purposes to awaken that energy. And it comes up. And on the way up, it could be a very dangerous experience if you're not prepared for that. But it's just supposed to unite. Once the energy comes all the way up, you unite, you understand who you really are, you can bring that energy back down safely. But let's say you have a lot of greed. There's some people who've actually have gone mad, crazy. There's some cases that someone has gone and killed somebody else because of a Kundalini awakening. People that go and they get locked down and they don't know what happened, those Kundalini experiences, and they're treated like really crazy people, and they're not crazy. They just had this, let's say there's a lot of hatred in your heart and things that really unresolved. And Kundalini can be awakened not only through a spiritual practice, but it could be through an accident, it could be through an encounter, it could be through a sexual experience, it could be through a form of connection. I mean, it's so when this is awakened, let's say there's so much hatred in your heart, that energy, when it elevates and reach that point, that sensation, that feeling is going to be magnifying millions of times. Imagine this energy, that supreme energy that comes up, and you have this, how are you going to feel? You're going to be mad, you're going to go mad. People that are having solved, and there are many cases of situations where the doctors, they don't find a physical explanation. They just send medication and say here, and those are like Kundalini experiences. So this is what the yogis talk about. And again, you can be sitting on meditation and tell people that you're this and that you're that, and in reality, this is so intricate. It's so, it's really like there are no really words to explain something like this. Yes.
Well, because if you're fulfilling any one of these, but you're not acting within the constraints of the one before, like Dharma, you're fulfilling your duty, but it has to be within like the universal right and wrong. Like you have to be doing it the right way.
So overpassing your Dharma, let's say her Dharma is to help someone. Like my child. Okay, let's talk about my kid. Her Dharma is to go and study this subject for the test. I cannot study for my kid. I cannot tell my kid, okay, these are the answers. I'm crossing. That is, I don't want to say sin, but that is something that is none of your business. Nobody's duty or Dharma, you should ever, never cross into that. And you shouldn't take anybody's Dharma. That is as bad as not doing your Dharma, or worse. So that's something that should be very clear. So your Dharma is yours, and your Dharma, so go ahead.
Yeah. No, and then Artha, like if you're pursuing material wealth, but you're doing somebody else's duty and making lots of money, then you're not doing it in the right way. So you're not going to reach liberation, kind of thing. Like you have to do it according to the one before. Otherwise, you can have a terrible Kundalini awakening and go mad, kind of thing.
Exactly, or not. And these things can happen. They're real. I've been exposed to them, and I've seen them. There's no fantasy or like mystical. These energies exist and they live within us. So it's just something to be. That's why do you pray? You pray and you evolve and you try to do the best you can. Forget about Kundalini. I mean, but it's a whole process, So the last thing I had said, I was talking about Shiva Shakti, the experience of union and oneness. So, any questions about the goals of life?
No, okay. All clear.
What's that?
All clear. It's easy.
Then you have the Ayurvedic text, which we already went over. Tomorrow we're going to start with the elements and the doshas, okay? And no, I'm sorry, before the doshas, the elements are the gunas. Right?
Yes.
What do you have? Right?
The elements. And then the gunas. And then the doshas.
So we're 15 minutes away to 4 o'clock, and I would like to ask everybody what questions, please, do you have? Any questions?
Do you recommend going home and just resting our
No.
brains?
Yeah, you rest
Just
your
resting.
brain. Yes. Yes.
No,
That's what you do.
Serious
Tomorrow
question.
is very similar to today. We're gonna have like some activities too, and let's see how far we get. So next month, I really would like to play both videos, like Dr. Lads, because it's very goes.
And we
with-
have the time on that Sunday.
yeah, and then the art of living also. So those two I think are very important for this module. And tomorrow with the Guna Salon we're gonna spend quite some time. So today just rest, and let all this sink in. Even though like some of you have yoga training, this is it could be overwhelming, So just something we wanted to say something.
About the classes coming up. First of all, tomorrow morning, I'll steal a few minutes. I'll be giving you handouts on the yoga requirements and so forth. If you can bring me your driver's license copy and not just text me a picture and I'll print them. I'll give you your contact sheets, or I'll have some housekeeping in the morning. And then we have Marma coming up.
Oh, we have a workshop of Marma therapy, April 9th and 10th. I don't know if you know about Marma. I mean, I know you've taken the workshop. It's like subtle energy work in Ayurveda. It's like cranial sacral Reiki. I mean, it's like a combination. It's a very profound technique. Those are points in the body where not only physical pain accumulates, but emotions and traumas. And once you stimulate them, release can take place in many forms. So it's a very intense, profound. It is part of Ayurveda. This workshop is not part of the program. When we teach Panchakarma, there will be some reference to we'll go through some Marma points, but this workshop is specifically. This workshop is specifically to be able to do a healing session on someone. Just a Marma healing session of 1.5 hours. It's very, not because I teach it and I love it, it's really amazing. I mean, can you share your experience?
Yeah, it is amazing. I actually use it a lot when in my massages. I'm totally into energy work, so I really like it. And it's funny because, for example, when I got it done to me, I actually started having some type of physical reaction. And this was just like, they were just placing their hands at certain points of my body. My body was shaking, and colors, for some reason. I see a lot of colors. And, it's a very nice experience. Towards the end, it was like, what's the best way I can explain it? Like clarity, I guess. Like I was focused, I guess you can say that. That's the best way I can describe it. And it's definitely an experience I will never forget, and I'm definitely going back.
Yeah, for those, you have half price. If you've already taken the workshop.
Oh, okay.
You don't pay full price, you pay half price. Yeah, because it's by hours, not the certificate. Oh, I'm a Marma. No, it's really about the hours of training. It's not, because this is something, it's like someone that comes for the first time, what benefit can I mean, you're gonna feel peaceful and relaxed, but the mind is really in the way the first time the person doesn't know what's going on. So just with one session, it's very difficult to obtain like amazing results. So that's why you recommend. I mean, it's like it's treatments. It's only for healing purposes.
Is that
you know?
something similar to Reiki?
It's very similar. I would say a combination between Reiki and cranial sacral because we do touch the body. On Reiki, there's a lot of just movement of energy without placing the hands on the body. But so this time around, I'm gonna have more Ayurveda people. So it will be more focus on ailments and things like that. Because other workshop I've had, it's been like a lot of people from the street and nobody really knows so much about Ayurveda.
Her mom was telling us that she took that course with you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she did.
She told me.
So the course is over the weekend.
It's April 9th and 10th. It's the second weekend. It's a weekend that you guys don't have to be here for class. So you come first and third. This course is on the second weekend of that month, April 9th and 10th. So that's coming up.
Ayurvedic modality was coming up as well
When?
on the 12th and 13th. I'll check it. I didn't get the catalog. I was looking for it in the.
Oh, I forgot.
You have it in the.
I'll bring it.
So in the catalog, we have a lot of the classes that are recent, that are going to be coming up soon, and then a lot to be determined.
CEUs too.
Oh yeah, the Marma is going to be CEU, so for anybody who's like a massage therapist, you'll get, how much is it, 18?
16 credits.
16. So we'll just announce as the classes come up, and we have Healthy Cooking is coming up in April, and that'll be at a kitchen down in Miami.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
So we'll just kind of keep you guys updated. And for most of the courses, slowly we'll be applying for CEUs from the state of Florida as well. Anybody have like an esthetician license or a massage license or something that they need CEUs for? Okay, anyone else? Any other licenses? Okay. Because we're free to apply to as many boards as we want, but it's nice to know what the class makeup is so that we can focus it on those boards. For massage therapy, definitely, we're CEU providers.
What about the prices? Do we have a price different like to regular people because we're in class, or it's going to be the same price as other people?
I think it's the same
It's the
price,
same,
right?
yeah.
It's $350, and those that have taken it is $175. Like you'll be paying $175. You can make a deposit and then pay on the date of the workshop the difference, or you can just on that day pay. I mean, whatever it is that you want to do. Like I received in the mail an application, like someone registering for it. So it really depends. Those workshops it's not mandatory. So people have the freedom to. I just asked them, if you're gonna participate, let me know, because I know if I need an assistant or not. Because if the group is more than 18 people, I really need someone to help me. But if a group is a small group, I can handle it. So it's 2 days, 2 full days from 9 to 6. And you get a certificate of completion and your CEUs if you need CEUs.
And
you will get them. All
Will
right.
you have this again? If we're, let's say,
Next, at the end of I have Marma therapy November 11, 13.
Yeah, things will be circulated.
Yeah, you don't have to. We just want to announce
We just wanna let you
because
know what's coming.
there are students that want to do it. Like I get phone calls. Like I have 3 students that took my previous workshop and they're registered for this one. They want to know. So another thing was what was the other?
The healthy cooking is going to be in April too. You said April too?
Yeah, I checked. April 22nd.
What is it? Oh, April 22nd, 23rd, off campus. Yeah, we're gonna go to a kitchen in Midtown, I think. It's a professional kitchen where everybody has their station. Kind of.
And that's
How
the
much
same
is
price?
that one?
We have to come up with.
Oh, we need to talk to Sabrina. We need to talk to the instructor, and then we'll let you guys know, because we don't have the price for the healthy cooking.
As things approach, we'll just let you guys know. I'm coming around, but just so that you know what we're offering and who's teaching it, and, you know, of course, description and so forth.
I have a question. As far as for the yoga, can you start doing your requirements now, or?
Absolutely. Tomorrow I'll give you the sheet, and you can just make as many copies as you want. I know some people teach. We want you to take classes, of course, if at the end, I mean, we know who teaches, but the point is that you experience all different kinds of yoga and that it becomes like a practice. But you'll see on there the date of the class, the type of class, if there's any comments, the teacher, and then a signature. And you can make as many copies. Each of you will have your name printed on the form, so you just make as many copies as you want. And I can also email it to you so you can print it right. So you have the actual one. So I'll email that to you tomorrow, but I'll give you a hard copy. And we should have internet by next weekend. They're coming to install on Monday. Okay.
Now the type of yoga, does it matter?
Right, well, that's what I was going to point out. It doesn't need to be different type of yoga. Let's say you're comfortable with Sampurna or with Vinyasa, whatever is that
How about
you
aerial yoga?
whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever is that.
I can see
You know
that.
what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be different yogas, it's just a yoga class. Just not hot yoga class.
Hot yoga? I haven't tried hot yoga.
Yeah.
Don't do
I couldn't
it.
understand it either. It's like
And those that come here on the weekend, you know, like you count those hours outside the paper, you know, like all the classes that you attend. And
On the weekend. Oh, yeah, Saturdays.
And what else? We had something else to say.
The class, the internet, a few minutes tomorrow. I can't think of anything else. I'm sure we'll think of it tonight.
No,
Right.
I thought of something not long ago, and it's late. I don't know. Okay.
It'll come.
Yeah, we good? Thank you so much.
thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Rest your brains.
6 months to complete the anatomy.
Yes, the anatomy. If anyone has completed, or when you do complete the anatomy, please give me the certificate, and I will be hounding you guys for your transcripts if you haven't given to me already. Okay?
Word. Or how do you want? Or if you want to do something